Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sports Scope on this 16th day of April. Got a great show with you for tonight. Hopefully, Matt New York will be here shortly. We'll talk about the NBA playoffs. Should he get was the fine justified? Should he get suspended? Talk about that Lamelo ball play the other day. And I'll tell you what, that was a great game. I've been down on the NBA this year, like a lot of people have. But I'll tell you what, that was a very competitive game. And I got a lot to say about it between the Heat and the Charlotte Hornets the other day. I thought that particular game really stands out, and that something like that would be great for the first round of the NBA playoffs. Plus, Diana Rossini resigns, and another reporter publicly criticized her, was fired from her. I think her name is Chrissy Ford. Probably got her name jacked up. Let me see. Let me make sure. But either way, we'll talk about it. Her name is Chrissy Freud. Excuse me. Like C for Freud. But anyways, got a lot to talk about. Do a little NBA stuff. Dallas Cowboys, please don't draft down or trade up or whatever. Going to talk about that as well. And, of course, after the break, got some announcements about next week's draft show. So stand by. We'll be back here, hopefully, with Mad New Yorker here shortly. And we'll hit the ground running here on the Real Sports Scope. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to Sports, that is Sports with an S, another S, Scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. All righty then. Okay, folks, I'm going to make this announcement now. And also, I'm going to put down an announcement probably Sunday, 1 week from today. I'm serious. This is probably the best show I've ever done in the history of Sports Scope here. We have the draft show coming up 1 week from tonight. Going to give you my guest list. Of course, myself, Mad New Yorker, be hosting this show. Let's see, Coach Kevin Carroll will be on. Talk a little bit of Titans ball there with him before the Titans pick a few minutes after. Three-star quarterback Julian Murdoch from here in Nashville. A friend of mine I've had on the program before. Going to talk a little bit of the draft with him. Going to get a few updates on his career, how he's going. Plus, Jason Patterson will come on. Pig Trail Nation, who covers the Kansas City Chiefs before the Chiefs pick at 9. We'll bring on Jason Patterson, give a few of his takes on that, get some background. And, of course, this still may be developing. I may be able to get some more guests here. But as of right now, also, I've got neighbor Roy coming back on the program, and brother Fred going to talk a little Pittsburgh Steelers with him before they pick. And, of course, Fred, big Chicago Bear fan. So it's a big guest list here. Like I said, Matt New Yorker's backstage. Going to be a very big show 1 week from today. This is going to be good. We're going to rival the networks here, folks. I've got my sound effects. Listen to this. Got the sound effects. I'm going to load up some highlights here. Got off TikTok of the top 10 likely picks. Likely, keyword likely. So very big show here. So stand by. We'll take our I'm going to go ahead and bring the Mad New Yorker up here and give him hey, Carlos.
What up? Thank you for having me.
Did you hear what I was saying earlier? Next week's program is going to be a grand slam 1 week from today. Got a guest list here with Julian Murdoch, 3-star quarterback. If you got some questions for him, have them ready. He's here out of Nashville. Going to have him coming on the program. Of course, Coach Kevin Carroll, we went to school with at Austin Peay, but also Jason Patterson covers the Kansas City Chiefs will be on for a few minutes here. And my neighbor Roy, big Steelers fan. They had its coaching change. Maybe they draft come next week. Maybe they draft Ty Simpson, Carlos. You never know. What do you his take? And, of course, his brother Fred out of Chicagoland area, big Bears fan. See what he thinks about the Bears possibly making a potential Super Bowl run this year. And I may try to add another guest, may try to squeeze in the Philly sports guy who's live at the draft here between now and next week. So giving you a heads up, man, we got a big show. Big things popping and no things stopping. Also, I got you here and I'm making a bunch of announcements. Hey, listen, I want to thank all my riders here. I want to say my man, what's today, the 16th? I'll say my man David. I want to thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel here. My man David, I gave him a ride early in the morning there on Uber there, a ride home from work. Thank you, brother. Got the 150th subscriber here to the YouTube. Appreciate that. This show will be on the radio at some point this year. We'll be buying time. So I'll keep everybody posted on that. That's nothing imminent. But just want to get all that out of the way and thank everybody for their support, especially my riders here riding and dying with me doing an Uber ride share here in the Nashville, Tennessee area. Okay, Carlos, best basketball game I seen all year in NBA was that Charlotte Hornets game. I don't know if you got a chance to watch that with against the Miami Heat the other day. Not exaggerating, not playing hyperbole, but man, that game was so good. That was like an NCAA tournament game, overtime, last second shot, controversial foul, non-foul call with Lamelo Ball that put Bam Adebayo, whatever the heck his name is. Love Bam, by the way. I don't want to jack up his name. I love Bam. He's a great guy. But anyways, I think a game like that can really, from a league that's struggling like this, make the front offices and the players and the ownerships really think about maybe we should do this for the first round. I mean, like baseball, this needs a booster shot. This league needs a booster shot, man. Not seriously. That was a great game. I stayed up late the other night. I had to be up early and watch that game, even though it was on Amazon. And, of course, they had some lagging problems, and they got a lot of heat for that, and rightfully so. What's your thoughts about that game? And I'll play this. Let me get your thoughts on that game first, and we'll go to the Lamelo Ball foul or non-foul, where he did get fined for that. So go ahead. Go ahead, Carlos.
Man, listen. If you guys haven't caught up and haven't been on Prime to watch these last few games, all of them have been good. Actually, not just the one I played.
The graphics are great too. I have to give them credit. Their graphics look awesome.
Yeah, they're doing a little bit better with the NBA than they did. Started with the MLB, but I'll give the NBA credit, the players credit. These guys are seem to be very in tuned, and it's just basket for basket, point for point, shot for shot. Some of these games, and it's been fun to watch. I haven't had much sleep since they started playing these games. They're, because a lot of them are double, they play back-to-back games. So,
and that one went in overtime the other night.
Yeah, and I've been watching all of them. So, and then on top of that, I try to catch some of the baseball game in LA. So, it's been a tough, rough week. Kudos to the NBA. Kudos to the young players who are showing up in these games.
Yeah,
Orlando, Portland, these guys in Golden State, these young guys are getting.
That was a great comeback. Yeah, good comeback from Golden State.
Yeah, they're getting FaceTime. People who weren't watching them every night nationally when they play, because of wherever they're at, a smaller market and things like that. If they're not watching the NBA channel, this was good. This is a good first step for the NBA, and to open up the playoffs, man. It's really good. And
got the vibe I got. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know what direction that you were going to come at with that. Okay, folks. So controversy about the game the other night. By the way, if they and I'm going to watch it on delayed time. By the way, so don't even mention the score. I know that Orlando's playing Charlotte right now. I'd like, just between me, you, and the audience, I'd like to see Charlotte win this game and play in the first round. I think they'll get the 8th seed, and they're going to play who's the one there? Detroit. Charlotte's fun. They're wild and crazy kids, but they're fun. Remember that show, Wild and Crazy Kids? I think that was on Nickelodeon back in our day. Melo Ball falls down. His hand does hit the back leg of a Bam. Iman Shumpert said on ESPN, former player here, he says, when you're playing hard like this, when you're going out, drilling's pumping, things like this happen, and it doesn't seem intentional. That's another player saying that who was not involved in this game, okay? I've been in some heavily competitive street ball games where, it's been a little crazy like that. You're going really hard and things happen. You don't intentionally mean to do it. That being said, this does look pretty intentional here. I'm not mad at the NBA or I don't have any issue with the NBA fining him. I'm glad they did not suspend him. He said he was going to reach out to Bam. Bam said he has not reached out yet. Bam doesn't seem too ticked off about it. That being said, let's take a look, see what you think, and we'll show the audience as well. Okay, folks. Got the right one.
Would be a huge hit for the Miami Heat. Bam Adebayo walking gingerly back to the locker room. He went down hard after this takedown from Lamelo Ball.
One more time. Hold on.
Would be a huge hit for the Miami Heat. Bam Adebayo walking gingerly back to the locker room. He went down hard after this takedown from Lamelo Ball.
Okay. Said he was going after the ball, hit the leg. What do you think? It does look intentional.
He's in the school of Bill Laimbeer. Come on, man. That's a
remember Ron Artest's elbow against James Harden one year?
Yeah, guys like Ron Artest, Bill Laimbeer, Dennis Rodman, they go to the same school of I forgot what I was supposed to do. That's right. But I mean, listen, that's in the heat of the moment. Sometimes you do knucklehead things. He's getting fined for it. I'm all right with the fine that he's getting.
Yeah.
He's not.
Would you would have suspended him? Would you would have taken a step farther?
If I was the coach, I'd have him sit out the first half of the game.
Okay, that makes sense. Sense.
I wouldn't. If the league's not suspending him, then if I'm the team, you play great. But if I'm the coach, because the problem is that you need to get that out of players' heads. Don't cause knucklehead moves. Play the game. Be smart. He's also the one that fouled Hero on that 3-point shot at the end of the game, towards the end of the game. that gave Miami opportunity to come back. So
he did make the game-winning layup at the end. He saved it.
Yeah, so he's
a little out of control, ain't he, man? He plays wild, man. Look at all those tattoos on him.
Yeah, I mean, none of these players are short of any tattoos that I some of the stuff that I feel like I'm reading like all these ads and signs up the expressway for New York or something.
How many tattoos this guy got on him? About 30?
I think they all average at least 10 tattoos, man.
Yeah, he is wild, man. I don't know if they'll re-sign him or not. I've met some people from Charlotte. There's a couple of guys today from Charlotte said he gets in a lot of car accidents out there. He's a wild dude, man.
Listen, that's why you try to. If you're the coach, you even though there's no suspension, you make him, feel that there's a consequence, and you make him think that, because he's not as young as he used to be anymore, right? He's been in the league now for what? This is 6 years.
A few years. Some guys mature slower. Maybe they should put the hammer down on him now that you mention it, or have it something a little bit more strict per se.
Plus, if you rest him the first two the first two halves of the game, you'll have them fresh for the latter part of the game, and that'll be a benefit more than a negative, actually, if you think about it that way. So
yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, man. We'll see what happens with Lamelo. Pretty talented guy.
No, they're gonna put him on. They're gonna definitely play him. They're not gonna give him any.
Yeah.
They gave him the slap on the wrist. They explained themselves, and that's it. The NBA is not gonna touch that. And the only one who's gonna
it was a slap on the wrist. That is true. Maybe some players involved with that said, you know something. Maybe it was the heat of the moment. These are very intense playoff games. It was a one game elimination, and
those guys like Iman Shumpert, they played against or with those type of guys on the team, that would do stuff like that. It's just what it is, man. It's in the moment, and I'm not gonna lie and be here like I'm some self-righteous guy. I've done some things like elbows, and I've kicked some shins in my heyday, and I've may throw some elbows
in the heat of competition. Yeah.
You like try. Sometimes you try to feel where somebody.
Well, I'm that guy too. I've put my knees out and kind of try to slow a guy down. I've learned that from Gary Payton.
But again, you got to know where you're at in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a possibility of getting to a championship, opportunity. This isn't like a scrimmage
into the playoff. Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't a regular game. So.
Yeah.
If it's in the game, it's in the game.
So if it's in the game, EA Sports. Now,
yeah.
That's Draymond Green with his Tech history. That's probably a suspension, right? Because of his history?
No, I think they still give him a slap on the wrist because it's, he's on the floor. He got knocked down. That's the thing that we got to look at when they're looking at those things is where are these players at? Now, the problem with Draymond is that most of the time he's not on the ground when he does these knucklehead things. He's running towards a player. He's jumping at a player. He's throwing himself towards.
I'd probably suspend him if it's Draymond Green because Draymond has such a history there. Yeah, it's different if you got a history. That's the way the league's going to look at it.
Again, Melo was laying down already. He had got knocked down, or fell down. So you could literally say for his defense, he's just waving his arms out and just don't want to get
flailing, yeah.
So I feel like he got what he got, and that's
Chad.
Yeah, Chad, it.
Sport. Chad, make sure, Chad, I've got a monster show coming 1 week from tonight. I sound like the Blues Brothers when they're hyping up that big show.
Chad, I got the top 5 teams selling their picks, all of them. Sell.
Got little highlights and everything, man. We're going real big. So, anyways, we'll see what happens. They're probably going to get beat anyways in the next round.
That's a nice squad. They got 3 young guys. They got a few. They got 4 guys that are middle.
He's a good three-point sharpshooter. He's a rookie though.
Yeah, but they're shooting up about 40 plus more 3-pointers than the average team. They're averaging 40. Like, it's crazy, but I don't know. They're probably gonna run out of gas because this teams like this got very little stamina. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they play at a ridiculous pace. I'm one of the fastest in the league. So
yeah.
Which is fun. It's like the tournament. That was like a tournament game,
Yeah, it did kind of.
We got another March Madness game in April, man.
Yeah, it was good. Look, the Portland game was good. These games are good. I know.
That was the best game of the season so far. I'm very much looking forward to seeing Wembanyama and the Spurs play just to see how he fares in the playoffs. Do you think because of that, there's a lot of excitement about that game? I can tell the league is kind of triggered about that. They're kind of stoked about it behind the scenes, I think, but the way that game played out. Do you see something? Would you think it would be a good idea? I know they're not going to do it because there's too much greed in the league. But make the first round of the playoffs single game elimination for everybody. I think just the first round, and then you work your way up as it goes along. Best of 5, best of 3, best of 5, then best of 7 the last 2 rounds. I think that would make the league. That would be a booster shot. That's the equivalent of putting a pitch clock in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, because then you
What's your thoughts on that idea?
Yeah, I like that a lot, and it's kind of like those real time tournaments. You you're in it to win it. If not, you win and you're out. You're one and done. Like I think if I were to set it up myself, if I was trying to set it up, I'd be like the first round is one and done. Second round is like you got 2 games. The third round,
best of 3. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah,
best of 3. And then the finals is best of 5. The problem when you do best of 7, and I'm not gonna. I've been watching basketball. I like it. Not been too happy about some of the end results of some of these championships, but it is what it is. When you get best of 7, sometimes what happens is you give the team an opportunity to get back in it, man. And they're not even that. Sometimes what happens is the best team runs out of gas after game 4. They're just like, we're gonna win because we're up by 3 or we're up by 4, and then the other team comes back, and then they're in a pivotal game 7, and then you don't really get the best team that wins. You get the team that had the most stamina and less injured, right? So, I think.
Well, I disagree. I think the more you get later into it, like the Eastern Conference the conference finals and the finals should be 7. You don't want somebody to win by luck. Statistically, the number 1 seed usually wins game 1, 90-something% of the time. So it's crazier things can happen. Now, one year, the Warriors beat Dallas in a game, a best of 7 in
I just think 7 is 7
in the first round. If you remember that, this was some years back. But
I don't mind if it went 1-3-5-5, because to be honest with you, 7 is just
okay.
7 between the traveling, and then you got to get it. They're gonna do the whole TV time, and they always play that one game on Saturday at 4:00, and you're like, what? I'm busy on Saturday. Put that junk at night. So just make it simple, man, and make it better and a better play for the actual athletes playing the game. Because I'm talking about me and my my schedule. I can't imagine, and you're talking to as a youngster, I played in a lot of tournaments.
Yeah,
you just can't be ready sometimes after even if you got 3 days, even if you got 2 days rest. You won a game, you put it all out there. Now you have to go back and go to somebody else's house, and you got to win there again. That junk's annoying, bro. I'm like, when I was an athlete, we had those kind of tournaments where it was a weekend tournament, you were one and done. I was grateful, but when you had to do the district thing and you going best of 3 and best of 5.
Jazz says 5 is enough. I don't know. Baseball goes 7. I'm a little minority of this, but you guys seem to agree. A one and done for round 1. That would be hype, man. Because some of the round 1 games are kind of boring. There are a lot of blowouts and stuff. But if I'm a Heat, Miami Heat, I think they went to the finals in the 8th seed a few years ago.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's some of those teams that I'm talking about. When you're just like, man, why this team? They got they came back because they were given time to rest. All they had to do was win 2 games, and they were given time to rest. You know what I'm saying? The other team won 3, they won 2, then they tied, then they ended up winning 3-3, and then they ended up winning 4-3, and they ended up winning the championship. You're like,
the playing games turned out to be a big hit, with all the criticisms aside of the NBA. Listen, we'll go into the games that we know that are going to be played. I thought I'd send you all of them. The ones that are going to be played later, the favorites are heavy favorite anyways. But I do think this Minnesota series against Denver, Minnesota's had a 3-1 lead as far as the regular season, Denver has had a 3-1 lead on Minnesota as far as the regular season goes, per se. But remember, Minnesota beat Denver in the playoffs back in 2024. I can see Anthony Edwards getting hot and possibly pulling that off again, and also running out of gas in the next series. But I do think that Denver is deeper this year. This may be Jokic. I don't know how. This guy got hurt, missed some games, and still led the NBA in rebounds and assists. That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. I think they're deeper this year. If they stay healthy, this feels like Denver in 6. They are favored to win, but I do think Minnesota will give them a series like they always seem to do, What's your thoughts about that series? I think that may be one of the better series, along with maybe Toronto, Cleveland, of the entire first round that's coming up this weekend. What do you think about that, man? With that star power too, with that series.
Yeah, I think that one is a toss. That one series is a toss up.
Yeah.
Those two teams are talented enough, and they have a lot of depth. And then on top of that, they're very young. So I feel like those two teams are going to probably be like the most. That's going to be the most competitive game to move to for. So, but Jokic is playing out of his mind, man, and he's playing better than he played last year. So
I don't know how he's getting all this basketball, but this dude is just getting. I thought he already hit his ceiling. He put a big head through the ceiling, man.
You know, he kind of reminds me of an underrated. What's this guy's name from Yugoslavia? He played for the Lakers. Vlade Divac, man.
Yeah.
Every year, body. You thought he was like he looked like a 40-year-old playing. They said that the guy was in his 20s, but you know, and then every year he just kept getting better, and then it just he kind of peaked and then flattened out. But this guy is not, you know, he's
much more talented though. Love body. But
I don't know if he's much more talented. I just think he plays his position. I think he plays his position better. Vlade was more of a shooter. This guy's a center. Yeah. And he needs to be a center. And the thing about him is that if he doesn't have a shot, he passes the ball. Like, you know, and he makes good passes. So I think I feel like the Nuggets will take this one anyway. So that's why.
Yeah, me too. I like the Nuggets in 6. You really hope if you're a Nuggets fan that they take it in 5. But I know how Edwards plays in these playoffs. He's going to elevate his game, not unless they find a way to get a hand on him. My lights have been flickering. We got a shower here.
You good? Also, Robert froze, guys. He's in the middle of some kind of rain and a delay there. So I'll go ahead and choose my picks for the West in the playoffs. I think that the Rockets are going to beat the Lakers. I think the Lakers are not strong enough to hold off the Rockets team. There is a combination of veterans and a few young guys there in there that they're playing defense. They play defense well, and as long as they can shoot the ball a little bit, then they can, you know, make that a better game to go against the Lakers. But I still think that the Lakers, with their age, their stamina and their energy, I think they're gonna overtake the Lakers, who are heavy injured players in and out of the lineup, and LeBron and some of these guys will put up a fight, but I just don't think they'll have enough to get in there. And see here, that the Spurs are going to be playing, and the Rockets are going to be playing the buy-in, the teams that are buying in. So, who's that at? That's San Antonio plays either the Golden State or the Blazers. Yeah, we'll be playing the Blazers, so let's see where Robert's at. I need to do anything for him. He told me, he just sent me a text, said to hold on a bit. So so I'll talk to him about his position and his what he thinks about the Lakers and Rockets game when he gets back on. It's supposed to be logging in. Yeah, so if you guys can get a chance to even rewatch these games on Prime, if you have Amazon Prime, these last few games have been exciting. well worth the watch. And like I stayed up all night watching some of these games, and I was very intrigued. Some of these games went to the last minute. The one game went into overtime with Charlotte and Miami, and it was just kind of good to see that team be able to produce that win. Let's see what we got over here for. Let me look up some stats real quick here. And then talk about the East. Pull up the NBA bracket again. Let's shut off here for a second. Yeah, I'm ready for. I'm getting ready for this next game. Yeah, so we'll stay with the West real quick and just wrap it up with the Trailblazers beating the Suns. I didn't think that they would be able to do it myself, but they did a great job actually playing the Suns. The Suns just took way too many shots, I feel like, and didn't get back on defense in the middle of the game, and they were able to, and they gave opportunity for the Trailblazers to come back, get some rebounds, and catch up and score a few points here and there, and that was but it was back and forth. I saw some shots go up that I didn't like that the Suns took. I feel like they were trying to lean on a 3-point shot. They could have moved the ball a little bit more, but they did not. So that game, I felt like they could have woulda, coulda, shoulda, but the team that had the less turnovers and that did better at the end of the game ended up winning that game. It was surprising to see how the Trailblazers though were able to match up the speed of the game and were able to keep up with the Suns. I was totally off on that pick. I thought that the Suns would win that by at least 10 plus, but it's not what happened. So that wraps up that play-in game. The Warriors and Clippers. I'll go through that game. I thought when Curry went out in the first half that I was hoping that he'd get better and he'd come back in, and he did. He was a difference for sure. Although the young guys for the Warriors, they did what they were supposed to do. They did the job, and they did a good job actually, making sure that they stayed in the game, matching up with the Clippers. They shut down Kawhi Leonard a little bit. They had the opportunity to, and they didn't look back. And that's one of those things about when you have a younger team. And you have a few guys that are starting. It's like you just play forward, and you don't look back. You just keep chugging along. You keep taking shots, keep attacking the basket, and that attitude and that speed. Use your speed, use your agility to get inside and try to get fouls. That's what a lot of these teams should do. The ones that are getting older is get out there and start getting younger guys that have stamina, that have ability, and that they don't because they're young, they're more carefree. We were just talking about the Hornets, that they're scrappy a younger team. Have 3 young guys on the team that they're just all motor all the way, and and not only is it a concept that helps your team move forward and just focus on getting the next shots, but it helps your team not think about how many points they are behind. Because the guys are running around and matching you point for point. And that's some of the issues that some of these teams have, believe it or not. So, the older teams, they try to build momentum, try to build rhythm, try to get in, try to, make points here and there. And when you have that kind of mentality, when you start falling behind, you start looking for shots, you start pushing, you start, throwing up shots from the 3-point line, trying to catch up, and that's no bueno. So, kudos to these younger guys that are in the playoffs, and like some people say, let's run up the score. Let's make them play our game. That's what you get when you get a lot of younger guys in the game, or guys that have fast paced mind for basketball. So it's really good to see that the Warriors were able to get into that game, and good to see Steph come back into the game. So let's see what Robert said. Let me see if I need to log him in or not. Give me 1 second here as I see if I have to get him in or not. I don't see him. Let me see what he says in the comments. Check on this message real quick. Guess he's still on standby. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, what's up?
Are you still live on the show?
Yeah, I'm still live. I'm still going. I'm chatting it up.
We'll be on speakerphone, man.
All right, you're on speaker. You're on speaker, man.
Okay, everybody. Yes, so my powers went out. We've had a really bad storm here. In Nashville, it's like a thunderstorm, maybe like tornado-like activity. But the show could still go on because we could do a lot of this. You could keep me on speaker until I get the power come back on, because it's been going off and coming back on. It's really like one of those high wind situations,
Right.
Which I don't think could be that bad, but you never know. A lot of times the worst tornadoes come when, obviously they're not expecting it. So anyways, trying to get back to what we were talking about there. I do think that's going to be a very good series there in Minnesota. Are you concerned about the Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks? I know they had different players a few years ago, but remember the Hawks knocked them out in a series a few years back. And Knicks lack of defense. That feels like a 6 or 7 game series. Now, I do like the Knicks to win in 6. What's your thoughts about that game, man?
Yeah, I think the fact that they moved and made the moves that the Hawks did to help them try to get to the playoffs, but I think that they're going to hit a wall, because the problem is that they haven't played together as much as this next team. And I'm not taking nothing away from the talent that they have and the players that they have. I just think it's, you just got the new guys in. You're trying to make everything fit. You're working out the kinks of the system that you're playing there, and the defense and the offense, and they do good. They're young. They got a little bit younger, and the only problem is that they don't have that esprit de corps set up yet. They don't have that, let me make a backdoor pass because I know you're behind me kind of, thing going on. And that you saw with other teams that, who've been playing together a little bit more. The Magic squad, the Hornets, the guys in the 76ers, the guys that's been playing longer together, the Trailblazers, they making these passes and they're making moves, under the basket that I don't think Atlanta will have that much experience with, because of the fact that these guys are they just made some of these moves not too long ago to get
moving off Trae Young. They're lucky to be in the playoffs still.
Yes.
NFL.
Yeah, so I like the Knicks in this series, but I'm just like you, like I'm not sure if I can trust what's going on there. I feel like I think I mentioned it to you too. It's like they should just take a step back. See, their players need to just kind of get it together, and but I think it's too late in the season to do that. Like the problem is they don't know. I feel like they're the Philadelphia Eagles of last year. They don't know what exactly their what's their style? What are they gonna do? Like, so that's how I feel about the Knicks. But they have. It's not that they don't have a good team. They have a good team. They just, and they're not aggressive enough, man. That's another thing. You're in the playoffs, and the team that's not as aggressive, they need to be a little bit. They need to be better score. If you're not aggressive, you have to be a scorer, a team that scores a lot and consistently. And they can't do either well. And that's why I can't just vouch for them and be like, yeah, they're going to, Jalen is good. He's going to do what he needs to do. And, like all that. That's not how that works, man. So, but that's how I feel about the Knicks.
Yeah. They're going to get the W. Okay, now next series here, this Toronto. Toronto is obviously, they're technically the underdog against Cleveland, but,
right.
They beat Cleveland 3 times in the regular season, but that was before the trade of Darius Garland and James Harden trade there. Now, of course, Cleveland, loaded with talent, should win that game, but the fact that they, this is one player there in that blockbuster trade, that feels like maybe a Cleveland in 7. What do you think about that series?
Yeah, I feel like this matchup similar to the matchup that they had the Rockets. I mean the Denver with what's that team? Denver and the Timberwolves.
It's one of the better series of the first round.
Yeah, this is gonna be a better series. I feel like. This is gonna be the one that people are gonna be exciting to watch because you want to see what you're gonna get from the main guys, from the starting 5, and what and they play defense and they can get you a little bit to play their game. So, and they're both kind of like similar, just different players. They I feel like they play similar to each other sometimes. So
yeah,
this can be far more competitive, but with the depth and everything, Cleveland has the upside, but don't count them out. This is going to be like watching that Portland versus Golden State matchup.
Yeah.
So. Hold up, man. He just fell off. Oh man, hold on a second. Let me try to get him back on the. He just fell off the.
It looks like, Carlos, you there?
Yeah, I got you, bro. Welcome back.
Okay, all right, brother. Man, hey, good save there, man. Good on your part. If I keep going, it looks like I'm entering the studio now. I might be able to enter the studio here and talk to you guys on my cell phone. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's loaded again right now. It might be in the dark, but it's better than me talking like this. Hey, man, when the going gets tough, the tough get going.
Man, you can only work with what you got, bro. You only work with what you got.
Yeah, and this is one I'll probably save and see how well you held up here. I was like, because I was looking on my phone, and it's like I'm still live, and he's still talking. So, because I haven't stopped the stream, it's just the internet here. It's funny how things work. The stream didn't stop automatically. The stream kept going. It knew that life must go on.
Yeah, look, I
don't
mind driving. We drive and we talk back and forth. But when I was, when you dropped off, I was like, okay, now I gotta Switch it back to.
I appreciate that,
Yeah.
dude. And God, Lord, I'll send the Lord an email. We don't need this kind of weather next week when we got this huge NFL draft show that's going to rival the networks here, at least for a few picks here. I've got 10 highlight films from guys like Ty Simpson, David Bailey, all the guys. Here we go. I'm entering the studio now.
That's funny. That this.
Yeah. Okay, I'm entering the studio now, it looks like. See if I come back on the air that way. If I do, I'll let you go on the cell phone.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. All righty then.
Can you hear me? I don't hear you. Robert, you there?
Righty then. Tales from the crypt here.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let me set you up here because when I was rambling and just started talking about myself. I was talking about the West Coast and about the West side, the West on the playoffs. So but you just started asking me when you came back. You started asking me about the Knicks and then the Raptors. So were you?
So yeah. So I know the Houston, I know LA, and sorry to hear about LA with the injuries with Luka.
Yes.
And of course, Austin Reeves. I think LeBron can will him one victory. I feel like that's probably Houston in 5, and maybe better luck next year with that series. What's your thoughts on that one, brother?
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about before you got back on the
power
phone.
outage.
Yeah, I just wanted to get your take on that, and yeah, man, no, definitely. I said the same thing. I think that the Rockets are a little bit younger. They got a lot more defense. They're going to be a lot more lively, and the Lakers they've had too many injuries and not been playing enough together towards the end. And I think that the Rockets are going to take this one. I did mention that. I think LeBron maybe win a game or two, but I don't think he can will 4 or 5 of them. Not at that age, man. That's another thing.
No,
so.
He's lucky to be playing. A lot of people consider him to be great, the greatest of all time. I'm not one of those people. I think that it's the fact that he's jumped around super team to super team. I cannot put him above Jordan with the 6 to 4 rings.
Yeah. Well, how about this?
See that? Yeah, go ahead.
How about this scenario? Let's say he gets them to win 4. Do you think that he's going to have enough time to rest, or do you think he'll be able to will them in the next round?
Oh, this would be a huge criticism on the coaching staff there of Houston if they let this happen. And now the coach there, and his name is slipping my mind. I got my phone for references, and I'm talking on it, so I could mess things up. But their coach used to be the coach of the Boston Celtics. Remember, he got in trouble with the sexual stuff, the allegations with the owners, whatever. I don't think it's going to happen. But the Lakers, when they did have a healthy Luka and they did have a healthy Austin Reeves, that was a great matchup. That would have been maybe 5 the other way because Fred VanVleet, their point guard, has been out all season for Houston, Texas, for the Rockets. So this feels like probably a 5-game series. I don't think LeBron could will them. He might be able to will them 1. I'm being generous by giving them 1 game. JJ Redick knows this thing's over with, but what's he supposed to say? We're going to forfeit? No, they got to play, Yeah,
you don't know. Like I said, I feel like even if the Lakers knock out the Rockets, let's say it's a crazy situation and Luka is in and out of 1 game, and they get a couple guys in and out of another game, and LeBron plays, and they get enough to go to the next round.
Yeah,
they have enough stamina to even play the next round and be competitive.
No, LeBron's going to move on. Probably go back to Cleveland. I'll talk to my man Chris, by the way. Another shout out to another Uber rider from Cleveland area I picked up at the airport the other day. He says he hopes LeBron don't come back to Cleveland.
Because
So
the team's actually playing well without him. Yeah. So
yeah. Okay, there's other news. I wanted to bring this back up. Diana Rossini, there was an investigation that was announced a few days ago, I want to say. The Athletic, she has since resigned from the Athletic. Another reporter who does freelance reporting, Chrissy Freud, like Stephen Freud, or she says she's out bashing her on the internet saying that she's been sleeping around for a while, blah blah blah. She kind of sounded like a hater to me. If you ask me, she has since this other reporter, she's been basically fired from contributing to the USA Today. Okay, so now going back to Diana Rossini, she's a free agent, like we talked about the other day. Or I may have mentioned this on the program by myself. I think Rossini is very good. I disagree with what she did. She made a mistake, even if it wasn't friendliness of gesture or whatever. It was unethical. That being said, she's likable. She's talented. She's going to land on her feet. Stu Gotts, who used to work with Dan Patrick, has his own podcast network. He's already offered her a job. She's a good friend of Collie Coward, who owns a Volume podcast network. My guess is she'll go there. What do you think about that situation as it's developed since the last time we talked with the Diana Rossini, the controversial photos of her with the scandalous photos with her and Mike Vrabel, who, by the way, is not taking any questions in the pre-draft campaign because of this.
Yeah, no, and we're going to talk about ethics, and I'm going to bring this side up of it, and it's been kind of mentioned, but I'm going to mention it like this: the NFL, the owners of NFL teams, in the Mike Vrabel situation, it has to come to the full circle and say that this guy is fired for his actions, because the situation is this: if it's two people who are not consensual, it's sexual harassment.
Yes.
Right. And the problem is that even if it's not sexual harassment because these two are consenting to their action, it's still under the guidelines of employment where one party, cannot be associated with another third party and have these actions come forth. Right? Like, it's just like when you like, just like the football players on the team can't date the cheerleaders, it's like the football players on the team can't be physical with the physical trainers who are female, or try to get involved with the female referee.
So you're looking at it from the athletic standpoint.
Yes, I'm looking at.
Okay, that's a good point. It's a good point.
Because you have to make you, and the problem is this: it's not that you want to make him the poster child for ethical reasons and for the reasons that you have these kind of rules and regulations through your HR and through your companies. It's just the fact that he made the mistake. Now, I'm not saying that if Mike Vrabel gets fired, he won't get another job. What I'm saying is that if the owner of the team ownership doesn't fire him, they're doing a disjustice to the fact of the matter of the other women.
So you want him now? Say that again. I'll clip it. What grounds do you think, in air quotes, Mike Vrabel should be fired?
On the same grounds that if an NFL player were to get involved with a cheerleader or a reporter or any.
Okay, that's a good point, because I've heard that before. Yeah,
and the type of female working that is not, because you're not through HR rules and regulations, you cannot have relationships with another person in that entity.
Well, technically, she's not an employee of the team, though.
She's not, but she is an entity that works with the team, and she is a reporter that comes in there, and so you can't. The thing is that you can't just be scapegoated and be like, oh, well, she's not on the team. The cheerleaders are not on the team. They don't play football on the field.
Yeah, but they're I think I want to say they're employed by those organizations.
But it's okay. So a player can't date a female ref.
Okay, that I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if that's in the guidelines.
There's rules and regulations, and there's rules about sexual harassment, and even if
that may be true. I can't fact check it because I don't. None of my internet's working.
And what I'm coming at in the sense where like you have to set standards,
yeah,
and you have to set yourself, and you have to be true to these standards because they're not just. This is not just about Mike Vrabel. These are about the men, the coaches, the other coaches, the players, and the people in administration. It's not right to go out and do these things. If you want to do it on your personal level, fine. But the problem is that you're still a representation of that team. That team, the Patriots. Yeah. Mike Vrabel is a part of the Patriots as much as he is his own man. And no matter what he's doing at home or to his own family, that's even another case. But that would be
a blockbuster move if that happened.
Well, I think it's inevitable.
Big story
because of the rules and regulations, and she can always come back. And I don't think that.
Yeah, but the commissioner hasn't mentioned anything about it, and neither Robert Kraft.
Right, and I think they can't say anything about it because as soon as they open that door, the floodgates are going to come in through the media. Look, I'm just at this. If I'm the owner, just for my sanctity, just that's it. Cut ties with him and wish him out as well. You made a mistake, bro. You got to pay the consequences. It's not that I want to fire you. It's just the fact that like I can't have my coaches dating female news reporters, dating female referees, dating anybody of the opposite sex when we're all involved in this, because it could all come down to, at the end of the day, you could always be liable and be sued for sexual harassment, whether it was consensual or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now that's to the beholder in the court whenever those cases come up. But you don't think that Racine would be like, well, he came on to me first.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to apply. I think she's going to get a better job. Listen, this is a big, in one ironic, weird fashion. It's a blessing in disguise for her. The Athletic was losing $500 million. They were in the whole big time when the New York Times bought them. Yeah. They got pretty good content, but they're not making any money per se. I think she's got a lot of publicity out of this, even though it was negative. I think she'll land on her feet. As far as Vrabel's concerned, listen, Robert Kraft was once arrested for solicitation of a prostitute paying for happy ending massages, for lack of a better term. And, nothing came to that.
Which is part of their culture already. Because he's saying as a man to another man saying, well, I did this, you did that, let's wash our hands of this, and she's already been taken out in the street and been stoned.
Yeah, basically.
Right? So like there's no fairness in that, and it could come back to this team and make it even worse. The problem is too, he was going in there on Sundays with some team. Was what I heard.
Yeah,
I don't know, but with some team members. And was talking about scripture, was talking about morality, things that are faith-based and moral-based. Yeah. And you're going to come and how are you going to tell me as a leader of the team that this example that this man set is okay, and I have to be all right with it? I can't sit well with that if I'm a person of faith and I have my strong morals. You know what I'm saying? So he's not in a good situation. He's not.
Yeah. And now they weren't caught having sex, folks. They were caught holding hands and giving hugs. Right. That seems perfectly harmless on surface here. There's no way that there is no way that it could happen. It could. Now, if something else develops, this is what a lot of people are talking about as well with this situation is why who took these photos. It seems like some type of private investigator may have taken these photos. Is it one of the spouses? So this is still a developing story. If one of they let go, I don't think that's going to happen, but they could possibly let him go. Remember, the guy just got out of the Super Bowl, and Robert, like I said, he knows he's not a moralist, and quite frankly, I'm not there's no way I would probably fire him unless you, like you said, that she some kind of sexual. I don't think it's going to happen.
Look,
Crazy happened. We saw what happened in Michigan. The coach just now got the football coach Sharon Moore got like 10 months probation.
right? Yeah, I no. Listen, this whole
That's a
I
different
feel like-
situation. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but again, the situation is this: that what how men face consequences is different than how women are facing the consequences, and how their reputation are different, are being hit upon differently. But the problem is that this is the NFL, right? This is the New England Patriots, and they can't have this as part of their culture still existent if they want to keep their employees happy, right? Because you can't just be, you can't go out every draft to every draftee and be like, listen guys, women are going to throw them, you got money, you plan an NFL team, women are going to throw themselves at you, blah blah. You're saying all this stuff, but then you can't go around and be like, yeah, I got like 6 women, that's your business, whatever. Like those kind of things.
No, I get it. That's a good point. Good point. I'll probably flip that. I don't know how it sounds so big, but I'm going to flip that.
Your audio's in and out.
That story.
Yeah, his audio kicked in and out. Yeah, and just to go back on those kind of things that happened, she was a news reporter that worked with the team and works with other teams in the NFL. But there's situations like even what I'm wearing now with the Mets where they had wives that were cheating on with players within the same
I'm
team.
back here, and Carlos is back too.
Yeah. And I was just explaining like how the Mets a few years back had one of the Mets players had a Playboy model wife, and she got involved with another player, and that ruined the esprit de corps of what was going on. That ruined the team chemistry and all that because of those situations happening. Yeah. So you can't. It's just.
But do you see this? She was messing with a player in Mike Vrabel. If they were doing the mess around like the Ray Charles song was saying, I could see that causing some toxicity in the locker room. This situation feels like it's slightly overblown to this point. Not unless we find out more information.
No, but again, the rumblings from the team, from the Patriots, of some of the players who have strong faith and follow their religion and have a moral based ideas, are struggling with the fact that this is the guy who's leading them and he's being immoral and doing things that are not setting precedent to be a good leader. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So and that's the chirping from. That's not. I'm not making it up. That's what some of the team members are saying, because they brought up the fact that he led the team in prayer and he led the team in some of those practices and stuff like that. So I'm like, that's tough, because if you're a man who's a faith-based person and that's
man of God, you're
man of God and you're leading with that, and then you go and do something else, that's a kick in the head.
The quick answer for that, the one without sin cast the first stone. I mean, you could use that for back forward. Anything else you need to plug, bro?
No, I mean, look, this playoff has got me tired. This week is being long. You guys get the opportunity to watch these games this weekend. A lot of game one start on Saturday, I believe, Saturday and Sunday.
The official playoffs. Yes, the play-ins are still going on.
Yeah, and it's been fun. Thanks for having me on. Sorry that you had that mishap, man. But thanks.
The power's out. Severe thunderstorms. I'm gonna call NES, folks. I think I'll be okay. I'm hoping the power gets on sooner than later. We'll see what happens. But again, folks, next week, very, very big show. Carlos, come with your A game. Have your mug, your players. Dude, this is going to be huge. Now let's have a tornado or something, but for a bit, the weather be fine, and we'll have the best show ever that compete with the network as far as quality. the stuff we have and what I have coming up. So, hey, man, thank you for carrying the show. I didn't know he was going to walk away. You saw the camera still rolling. I can't wait to watch the playback of this thing and see how it comes out and sounds. So, Chad, thank you for coming on. And again, shout out to all the Uber lot riders. And folks, give us to the Sports Scope YouTube page. Please subscribe at The Real Sports Scope with the K YouTube. This show's growing. It's the most influential sports talk show on the planet, and we want to keep it that way. I'll give you a shout out with the clap thing, but I don't know how that works on my phone. Have a good night, Carlos. Thanks again, buddy.
Have a good night.
See you, man. All right, buddy. See you, Chad.